More black people. More black people. More black people. Black power. Anywho, what's up, everyone? The 25th Genius is back with another Webtoon review. This time we're going to be talking about the wonderful Wendybird. But all joking aside, I have several issues with this Webtoon series. They're not bad issues, but there's still issues nevertheless. So with that being said, let's get started. Before we start, if you like this video, make sure you leave a like and subscribe, and support the elite race. Make sure you hit that subscribe button because I needs it. But anywho, all joking aside, I hope you enjoyed the video. Let's get started. So what is Wendybird? Wendybird is from the Webtoon Greenlight series, and this is why this channel will not survive and that I'm very stupid, because it took me this series to really realize that Webtoon Greenlight series basically are all a bunch of series that have been remakes of old original series. Yeah, that's exactly what it is. Yeah. Good job, me. So this time we get Wendybird, and Wendybird is a remake of the legendary story of Peter Pan. And basically it follows a young girl who is basically different, and her father wants her to be more ladylike until the point where he wants to marry her off and give her and find someone else, basically get her into school and basically to be a proper lady. She then meets Peter Pan, who black, by the way, and basically he takes her to a new world full of exciting adventures, much like the story of Peter Pan, almost to a T. Main character's black, by the way. Anywho, the issue with this series in my first head is that it's what I feared when you do a series like this. I thought it would have been better to release all the series in simultaneously than to go every week, because if you have a series that's a bombshell, which Spells from Hell was a bombshell off the bat, basically the other webtoons have to follow suit, and basically it creates like this bias, which is not a negative bias, but it's like you need the series to be better than the last. And unfortunately Wendybird is just not as good, or I feel like as popular as the other series that have been there, because all the other series before have honestly been very, very good, and some of them I'm actually excited to really see and to review. But honestly, if you just compare this to the other four, like, it's really hard to, and it's just not fair to the Webtoon series, because it was already late into the party when the party has already been done, in a sense. So like, it's doing very well right now, but again, as I look at Spells from Hell and when Jasy whistles, it's like they did immediately well. It was no waiting, no time. Unlike Wendybird, where it's like does quite the opposite. And it's actually a really good series with really good black characters, but it's other things too. So let me explain. To the story that they chose to remake was, I'm a little indifferent about it, because here's the thing. If you look at all the Disney series, especially if you just live in America, even in Japan, and let me tell you right now, in Japan, Disney is very, very popular. Like, just don't tweak. Like, it's very popular in Japan as it is in America. And if you really look at other series, I feel like those series just do a lot better, especially the Disney series of new. They do infinitely better than really Peter Pan. Like, a lot of people really know about the Disney princesses and Lion King and those types of Disney series, even now with Frozen, which is a very bombshell of a hit of a series, and you pick Peter Pan, which is not a bad series, and definitely it has a lot of spin-offs and it's very popular, but one must ask the question, is it as popular as the other series? And that doesn't mean just because it's popular you should make it. I'm not saying that at all. I'm just saying that when you're already behind the curve of popularity and then you pick a series that may not be as popular as other series, I just wonder if it grasps the audience, and that's really my concern. Like, I personally like the series. I personally think it's very enjoyable, and I personally have no problems with reading it or actually continue on reading it. Honestly, it's just when trying to get other people into the series, I really do wonder, will it do well as a Webtoon original as all the other series before it has? Like, that's another thing too. The thing with the other chapters and I don't understand why this is really much of an issue, but I do find it an issue, is that your third chapter really should sell your audience, especially if the third chapter is so important as it is. So let me explain really quickly. In Webtoon's Greenlight, you must like the third chapter of the series that you like for you to count as a vote. And within 60,000 votes, if any chapter gets that within their third chapter, it will be Greenlit for Webtoon Original. My thing is, your third chapter really should move and captivate you. Like, it really should get you more into reading the story, not a big mystery in which I may want to find out or may not. Spells from Hell and Finding Wonderland definitely did this, in the sense of their third chapter was just, do I want to read it or don't I want to read it? It didn't intrigue me. Now, Jasy, on the other hand, intrigued me because the third chapter was strong enough. It gave me enough information to be enthralled, but then also it didn't give me enough to where I want to read more. So, again, like, it's a lot. I just really wonder, like, how popular or how well known that Wendybird will be, especially since, again, it's just too far behind the curve. And the same goes with all the other series, and the other series may be really good, but when you do a bi-weekly status, everyone is already loving the first series and they're ready for that, then you kind of lessen and mitigate the power that the other series could have had if they all would have been released simultaneously. So I really do wonder, and I really question if that was a good call on their part. And definitely with Wendybird, it kind of shows, because upon looking at it, it of course changed now, but looking at it, it was already like 2 or 3 days, and you have to record this video, and it didn't get as many votes as the other series before it has, and again, it is not a bad series. I feel like a lot of it has to do with just the time that it was released. I feel like maybe if we released it when it first was announced, maybe that would have been a little bit better. But unfortunately, like, that's just how the world works, So again, I judge every series as fairly, but again, that could change even as well. But in terms of the story, the plot, the characters, I really think that it's very fine. It really takes me back to when I was a child and I watched these Disney stories, and I watched them with my mom and with other people around me. I really like how it takes its own spin on it, and that's the one thing about all these other series. I love the delivery of making themselves unique in a content that was already widely known, and it's really the case of how do you make it different. And all the Webtoon creators have done an amazing job with that, down from Spells from Hell all the way to Wendybird. So far, they've done amazing. Like, it's these are completely different series. Honestly, I would not have even known unless they said the word Peter Pan. That's how different these series are. They're almost like their own series. They're just using something that is very popular, and again, very perfect. So back to Wendybird, that's just the thing. Like, I love the main character. The main character black, but she's a very strong, she's very different, she's very unique, and I really like strong, unique characters because I'm strong and unique. I mean, look at me. Do you hear me? Did you see me? Like, look how I'm just very eccentric, and I really resonate with characters who are such as that. And I do love the interaction between Peter Pan and our main character, and I just love the world that we see. I also like how Captain Hook is a girl. Don't judge me. Look, she hot. Okay, a little bit. I hit with what? Anywho. But in terms of just really this world building, in terms of really just being a fantastic series, in terms of just really just doing everything right, like, there's really nothing more I can say. I really think Wendybird did like a really good job. I just really wonder if, adopting a Disney series that isn't as popular as the other series, being released into 4 weeks while other series had their time to shine the grow room, and honestly, just your third episode, was it enough to really draw people into reading more and more of your series? Again, those are just all questions that you should just take in, and not a bad series. Again, just voicing my opinion about it. And that is my video. So I hope you like this video. If you like it, again, make sure you leave a like and subscribe. Also, give me your opinions. Your opinions really do help me become a better content creator. So please write it down. Even if it's trash, I don't care. I love it. So please write it down. With that being said, I thank you for watching and listening. I'll see you next time.